What in the world happened here? Sometimes I like to be a little bit more dramatic, but check out Protectcode Talker so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. I look like I've just come through my my band saga days here. But yeah, Protectcode Talker. Why are we not going to market watch it? Because I wanted to do this. All right, so pre-sales discount code MQ40 over on Kong. Save you on your purchase. Same thing with Gamer's Choice. All right, so Protectcode Talker. This card's been coming up a little bit more recently in both Japan and America. America's using it. We saw it pop up in the first Mind Shuffle deck out of the Kong's tournament. And then Japan said, what if we play Protectcode Talker in tunes? It's almost like getting the ability to revive a potential Link 3 body to make a firewall, make this, and then, you know, stop on by Zena to get the extra deck dump. You know, maybe there's a little bit of something for a discussion to be had with Protectcode Talker, because that's a little bit too much for a card to be able just to get access to all of these extra free advantages. Now, obviously, oh no, your opponent cannot target Link 4 or higher monsters. You control card effects, and they can't be destroyed by battle. Shimber me timbers. Let me tell you how much you're probably never going to use that effect. Because this is just a stepping stone within the combo build to be able to get you some advantage. But, hey, this is the world we live in right now. We live in a world where Protectcode Talker has become a modern staple piece in Link Slop to be able to make Zena to be able to send. There's nothing else with this. Also means you should probably check out Firewall Dragon, because we've been seeing Firewall ultimate rares going up, but it's not like there's not a ghost rare. You know, there's so many other variations of Firewall Dragon available. I don't feel necessarily bad about specific rarities. Azamina good stuff. So, I know this is another, you know, dedication to the Kong's event, but truthfully, I mean, if you've looked at some of the Azamina cards in general, especially Deceptions, you're pushing $10 to $11 per copy on Deception. And you know what we don't have? Easier to get access to Deception. On the contrary, Wanteds are decently available, which is kind of funny to say, because the cheapest Wanteds are actually $4 now. And that's a card that got reprinted in Rarity 1. They are actually Rarity 3. My apologies. I was off 2 rarities. Looking at Wanted, yeah, minimum Wanted is like $4 plus shipping, give or take a little bit of change on that. Why though? Why suddenly is this, you know, looking super delicious? Well, it's because the Dia Bellstar package with Mind Shuffle is also really good. And there's also, you know, Dark Magician of Destruction, D-Mod, where, you know, you're able to pivot on into that through the extra. It's multi-engine stuff. Also, to be fair, the Azamina Good Stuff package is one of the only last Omni Negates that are really splashable within the TCG. You know, we've pretty much donked on every other Omni Negate within the current format, actually. In like the last 2 formats too. Like Modern Era TCG wants a more interactive format, so we've been cleaning these things up. That's why, you know, when you look at the Azamina package, while its conversion rate hasn't been the most insane, you know, people are using it to kind of set up an end board. And also the Azamina boss monster it's kind of manageable. It's not like an end-all be-all if they establish it, because, you know, it's definitely a little bit smaller than these boss Omni Negates that it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was putting up in the much earlier days. So, okay. Melffy Caddy. Oh, my God. Why is a Melffy card breaking through to the... This is actually interesting. These are like $6 to $7. 6, 7? 6, 7? It's like $6, $7 a copy for hollow Melffy Caddies. I mean, this thing, what? This is the one during the end phase, special summons card from hand, you know, when you return this card to your hand, add it. Okay, this is the Rhoda for the Melffy strategy. But luckily for us, they did reprint this expensive thing as a common in the tin of Ancient Soul. That's the 2021 tins. I'm sure most of you probably have bulk from those ancient tins, because, you know, we were always chasing the return of value for Melffy stuff. You know, Melffy cards, Melffy Rabbies from the new set's like $4. The Melffy Mommy from OTS Pack is a couple of dollars. Melffy Puppies are also a couple of dollars. Melffy God Mommy is like $2. Playtime Surprise is about $2 the way it looks with shipping. It's not that the Melffy deck is expensive. It's just, if you want this deck in like some nice looking rarities and like you want it to be like hollowed kind of across the board, these $1, $2 cards are going to kind of start to add up a little bit quickly. So do with what you will if you're looking at like the Melffy stuff as like a casual deck. It's definitely a cool gimmick, to say the least. You know, going to the end phase, you know, getting a giant ad of free boss monsters is by far probably some of the best advantage generation that I feel like we can get in the modern era. But you know, the question still remains, you know, is it consistent? Can you do it? And is my money on all these hollows going to be worth it? Next up is the Chibi Dark Magician Girl. Huh? Why do I come up with these weird things for this segment? Well, one, it's a Dark Magician Girl. There's some universal law written within the Yugi cosmos that says if we play stupid and we don't acknowledge Dark Magician Girl, we're actually just big idiots, and we don't understand how the market works. So universally, we have to keep an eye on every single Dark Magician Girl because, you know, especially looking back at like the dual terminals, the duelist leagues, you know, looking at all of these incredibly niche Dark Magician Girls, somehow, somewhere, they usually end up becoming value. But the Glorious Gallery Chibi might... I want to say it should break the mold because it's a chibi. But to be fair, this card's still holding $8. And it's been kind of fluctuating downwards a little bit. But if you, depending on the day, you know, if you check this out, you might be able to get it for $7.75 plus shipping. Other days you might be able to get it for $8.15. You know, it really just depends on what percentage of the fraction of the penny that you're looking at, because you're basically looking at a decent amount, all things considered. But the general rule is keep an eye on the chibis. We've seen the Summon Skull going crazy. You know, to be honest, I don't know why people like these things. I am not a huge fan of the chibis. I'm happy that they were able to port them in and provide us with alternative foiling, you know, upgrades for the people that do like this. I like that. But am I going to rush out and collect these personally? No. I truly am not a huge fan of the chibis. It's just one more Konami gimmick that they tried. And to the people that do enjoy it, sure, that's fine. I also got to talk about Chaos Origins boxes for this. So Chaos Origin boxes have hit the 82 and change mark. We're down from the 87 and change a couple days ago. So we've fallen over the course of the weekend about $5. We are still very much holding at the $80 mark with this set. Which I think is kind of impressive, all things considered, for a core set to still be doing very, very well at this stage. In terms of, you know, sales, boxes are moving. This is not a set that, you know, is just dead in the water. No. The amount of sealed product that is turning over, that people are spending the $82, $83 to pick up, is a very real thing right now. I just think now that we're closing in on getting closer to the release here, that we're starting to see more people listing these, and you know, the cutthroat lowering starts to really kind of populate and push on through here. But all things for what we're looking at right now, set still looks incredibly decent. This is coming in on Tuesday, June 30th, you know, for the analyzation of the set. Ooh. That way you guys can come back and timestamp me and be like, oh, yeah. Anyway, set's looking good so far. I'm happy about it. So guys, take a second to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll have a market watch tomorrow. I wanted to get this segment out because I love this segment. It's so fun. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.